Generational trauma stops with your mama. Go on and work it, lady. Yeah, that's how you work it, lady. It's never no, or maybe this is how you get it, baby. Work, work. Okay, y'all. Hey, what's up? How are you doing? Let's get into today's episode where we are going to talk about the Sephora and Ulta kids. Why is this happening? What is Sephora kids? Okay. Y'all, what are we going to do? What are we going to do with the youth of tomorrow? Because it's not looking so hot with this. It is not looking so hot with this. Now, this is it's kind of a silly one. This is a Did You Know episode. So did you know that these kids are running through Ulta and Sephora and wreaking havoc, girl, havoc on these stores. They are messing up displays. They are messing up testers. They are making their parents buy them hundreds upon hundreds of dollars of expensive makeup and skincare that they do not need. They are cursing out the Sephora and Ulta workers. They are cutting in front of people at line. They are literally doing the absolute most. Okay. These kids are doing the most. These kids need some discipline. That is what they need. I don't play with mine. I'm not going to stand for stuff like this. And let me just start out by saying this. I do believe that you need to make sure that you are connecting with your child. If they have a creative outlet and, figure out a way to have fun with them, especially our little girls. They see us doing our skincare, they see us doing our makeup. I remember being a little girl and, looking at my aunties, especially do their stuff, and being like, wow, that is so cool. I want to do that. And now I see the same process repeating with my little ones. I'm doing my hair, I'm doing my skincare, I'm doing my makeup. They're right there watching me every step of the way. And I think that for a young woman, for a child, it is okay to watch your mom doing makeup. I remember whenever my mom would go into stores like this, I would get to look at the lip gloss section and I would get to, think, hey, maybe I will get a clear lip gloss with some sparklies in it today. And that is about as far as it went. That is about as far as it goes with my children, because I'm not going to, first of all, be putting skincare on my kids when they don't need things like retinoids. Those are very strong, and really should not be used by kids, you know, without getting too sciencey on it. Retinoids, while they are, safe, we do have that seal of approval from all the regulatory agencies that retinols are safe. They do come with a little bit of warning as well. They can cause things like, certain damage, internally and things like that. So, you still need to be careful. But let's talk more about these kids, okay? These Sephora kids, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, let me just say this. I did see an 8-year-old. I was actually in Sephora with my daughters and they were just watching me do my thing. They are not demanding that I take them to Ulta and buy, very expensive drunk elephant makeup and skincare products. They're not doing that. But I needed to go and they were with me. And so we're like, hey, we're gonna go in. And as I'm walking them over to the lip gloss section, I see a mom and her little boy buying, I mean, a bag. They give you the little shopping cart because everything in there, it's going to fit in the little basket that they give you. And their basket was full of skincare and makeup, this little boy. And I thought, that's not something you see every day. First of all, this kid is really young to be doing anything with that. There's other things to be said about that I'll just kind of leave out of this conversation, but it just was like, okay, well, what's really going on there? You know what I mean? And so This is what is happening at these Sephora and Ulta stores. I have witnessed it myself. That was one time that really stuck out to me. But I would say the past 3 years, I have very much noticed younger and younger kids, in the stores, kids that are literally kids. I'm not talking about teenagers that, although my teenagers won't be wearing a whole bunch of makeup either, and they will have affordable skincare because you're a teenager, you know. But I've been seeing more and more kids under 10 in Sephora, in Ulta, buying makeup, buying skincare with the parents, demanding, not asking, demanding, having tantrums, falling down on the floor. I've noticed this at least twice. One with that little boy, and I do recall another little girl in there doing the most, on another occasion. So I have witnessed this. Maybe you have to drop that in the comment section. But it people are in their rights to do whatever they want, right? Like they have the right. People, if they want to shop with their kids in Sephora and Ulta and buy all these expensive products, that is their prerogative. However, people are complaining. And here are some of the complaints I read from a lot of different places, online that are like blogging about all of these issues. Okay. And here were some of the main ones, and then I'll actually read some from some of the major articles about this. But grown women are complaining about this because oftentimes they are going into the stores and they are sold out. Sephora and Ulta are sold out of products that they actually need because all these little kids are buying up the product. So they're like, okay, I actually need retinol. I actually need quality skincare. I can't do the drugstore, skincare anymore. And I need this stuff. And it's always out because these little 8-year-olds are buying up all the makeup and skincare. The other thing is people are saying that they are creating a messy and chaotic environment, that they are rude to staff, and they actually want to ban kids. Now, I'm gonna show y'all, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna show you this store display that they just came up in there and just ruined the thing, girl. So basically, what people are saying is, with all the kids in there, it is really interfering with the adult shopping experience because the testers are gross and it's overrun and it's just too much happening in the store. Women want to go in and shop, and have, that almost kind of like a spa like, feel going in there like, hey, I'm in a place where I can just chill and focus on me for a moment, but it's not, happening anymore. So let me get this graphic up. Okay, so look at this, y'all. A child reportedly destroyed over $1,000 of makeup at Sephora, and the photos are horrific. So this was the one that I found online. This was on Business Insider. So this is something that has definitely caught, the attention of these, major outlets. And the Sephora folks are really getting upset about this. Look at this display, guys. I mean, the makeup just crushed. They're going in here like this is just a playground and destroying things. And I know that I feel like in years past, you could actually go into Sephora and I would never put like, the lip gloss on my lips or anything like that, but I may swab things on the back of my hand, swab some of the different colors just gently on the back of my hand or my forearm. But half of these testers are so gross and disgusting now, and there's so much going around. I don't even do that anymore. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just look at it. If it looks good, I'll go look at some other beauty gurus review online, and I'm gonna just get the fresh one that's in the plastic because I'm not playing out here with y'all with all these diseases and stuff going around. So no thanks. But yeah, they got their hands in everything. Look at this. I mean, it is literally just a mess. So let me read you some of the headlines on this. From the tab, it says tween girls are invading Sephora. And this one, she talks about the epidemic of kids at Sephora. That was a 2024. This seems to be kind of a thing ever since like 2017. And I'll be honest, that's about when I started taking mental notes. Hey, there's a lot more kids in this store than used to be, and they're buying stuff. What's up? It says on her campus, Gen Alpha shopping at Sephora, and she basically just has a big frowny face on. Lemon 8 says, what do you think about young kids shopping at Sephora? And that basically kind of talked a little bit about, this pull to kind of like ban kids from Sephora. The Daily Dot, 10-year-old harassed me over drunk elephant skincare products. Okay. And now what I'm noticing is that there's even certain ads. I believe there was a calendar, and I could not be right about this, but it appears that there is allegedly a calendar for Sephora that has like little kids on it, and they've got like play makeup on, like they've been playing in makeup. And so now it's almost looking like, hey, you guys are encouraging this. Okay. So yeah, so CTV News, tweens taking over Sephora and making a mess. There's a bunch of stuff on Board Panda. iHeartRadio even did something on like the smashed up displays. The Daily Dot again. Um, just a lot of things are happening. Um, I really hope that this can kind of be rectified in like a nice manner. There's lots of little YouTubers out there though that are making skincare reviews. And while it's cute and you kind of get like a little, oh, that's cool out of it, it's also like, you guys should be exploring other things. I would much rather see a kid at this age, being like, hey, these are some cool crafts you can do, or here's something I learned about science or history, or, here is this fun, like little kids do science experiments and tricks and things like that. I think that is something more so that little kids of that age should be focusing on, because you got your whole life, little kids, to be focusing on skincare. Once you hit 20 years old, skincare is going to be a part of your life. So why rush it and start doing tutorials now when you could be doing tutorials on YouTube for other things that, are going to give you more knowledge that you can carry on, through your life. So I don't really support the kids doing like the skincare tutorials. I think, sometimes you see the moms and the kids and it's like, like just an encouraging, fun thing. I think some of that can be okay, but like the kid being the whole beauty influencer and just like having their own channel all about beauty and skincare, it's not cute to me at all. I don't think it's a good idea. Other folks can do whatever they want, but my kids will not be doing stuff like that. So that's just my 2 cents. Now, it kind of gets us to asking this other question though. Why are these kids so rude? And why are the parents allowing this? And why are these kids nowadays becoming so grown? Okay? And here's my 2 cents on this. I feel like everybody now is a YouTube kid. Like, even myself, I'm a YouTube kid. Like, I love YouTube, you know. A lot of us now are the generation like YouTube and all that stuff, like, was big when we were little. And now that has always been a part of our lives. And so it's spilling over onto our kids, which I feel like there's healthy ways to do it, but this just is not it. Having your kids watch so many YouTube skincare videos that they literally are becoming obsessed with skincare, to me, it just is not it. So here's another graphic that I wanted to share. It just kind of shows how these kids are doing these skincare reviews, how they're, just like junking up the stores and leaving the testers disgusting. And so then the other, mature women who actually need the stuff can't even test it out or try it out because everything is just so disgusting and gross. One article that I did read shared that a Sephora employee said that, she feels like she's caught between a rock and a hard place because she can't actually say anything to the kid like, hey, stop doing that, because it's not her kid. And then she said she's tried to nicely say to the parents like, hey, would you mind watching your little one? They're like ruining the testers, and the parents literally get upset. And so I think that that's like real dumb. Parents need to be parents, okay? We're parents for a reason. We have a measure of authority with our kids, and we should exercise that, because during childhood is the time for kids to learn boundaries. When you're an adult, you don't have as many boundaries as you should not because you're an adult. You should know once you reach a mature age in adulthood how to act, what is appropriate, what is not. And when you are a child, it's our job as parents to teach our kids what is appropriate and what isn't. So I don't feel like that was right for a Sephora employee to be cursed out by a parent, all because she was just trying to tell the parent, hey, your kid is kind of stepping out of line. Would you mind, telling them to stop? It's just getting really weird. Some of it, I don't know if it's like, because I kind of also subscribe a bit to some of the gentle parenting things, but I also am a disciplinarian as well. And when I say discipline, I'm not talking about being horrible to your kids. I'm talking about, okay, you didn't listen, you didn't do your chores, or you didn't do what you're supposed to do, you lose a privilege. Going to Sephora is a privilege. Even with my kids, even though they're not buying skincare and buying makeup, hey, if you were mouthing off all day and I told you we were going to go to Sephora later in that day and you just like going with me just to go, guess what? Now you're not going because you were mouthing off all day. And so that is going to teach kids, hey, I need to have respect for adults. I need to respect my parents, I need to respect people in the store, you know. It's just all about respect. And so when those things are taught in childhood, I think it just makes for a better, well-rounded adult. But again, people want to be mad at these kids. I'm seeing, some really mean things from people, online about the kids. Um, but again, is it really the kids' fault? This was kind of one. Some of these were funny, and most of them they were pretty tasteful. They weren't like just, excuse me, like saying horrible things about the kids. But they make it clear that they like, man, these kids are causing problems. If you're looking at the screen now, she's like, if you're a Sephora in 2024, you know what I'm talking about. This is a worldwide problem. This is actually happening in the UK as well. It's this epidemic of kids running through the Sephoras, running through the Ultas and ruining things because they are following these influencers on Instagram, on YouTube, and like literally going crazy. And it's crazy how much of an influence influencers do have because like we know what happened with that one kid, something Sinat. He said, "Oh, I'm going to be in New York," and then some of his fans showed up, and he's got like millions of followers, and they showed up and like destroyed stuff in New York. So you know, these influencers, something about it, is causing this almost, cult like following that can be dangerous. It has gotten to the point that these Sephora and Ulta employees are not really feeling comfortable. I don't know if any of them really feel unsafe, but they definitely feel very, very uncomfortable. And I really don't think that's right. The only good thing I can say about this is that, the average Sephora or Ulta worker is typically a young woman. And hopefully, these young women, as they're working and they're coming in and they're encountering these really rude kids and really kind of, not in this regard anyway, best parenting styles. Hopefully they're taking note and going, when I grow up, when I have kids, I'm not going to let them run through stores like this. I'm going to teach them to respect store workers and like be kids and enjoy being a child. I'm not going to make them grow up and, want the latest fashion hair and makeup at 8 and 9 years old. You know what I mean? So that is one thing. I think that anytime you see bad behaviors, it is going to wake most of the general population up and they're going to say, hey, this is something that everybody says is okay, but I've seen that it really isn't. And so I'm going to do different with my kids. So maybe the next generation, of kids, whose parents, their moms, worked at Sephora and Ulta, maybe those will be some really well-behaved kids because these ladies know what the bad, disrespectful kids look like. Okay. And so, I just thought that that was, something that could be a positive out of all this. But let's talk a little bit more why kids are grown. Right now, parents are really like inundated constantly with parenting suggestions on Instagram, social media, parenting philosophies they should follow. There is a lot of slamming um regarding like traditional parenting almost, there are some things about old school parenting I will say that some of that needs to go, and I've taken a lot of those things out of my own parenting style, but I've learned to be modern, and I've learned to progress and say, okay, here's some new things that I can add to my parenting that wasn't available to me as a kid. And here's some of the good things about old school traditional parenting that are good that I want to continue. So I feel like these parents that are allowing their kids to act this way and even buying them this expensive skincare when they are underage to use skincare products, I think that they've basically become victims of a lot of this, you know, stuff that is happening on social media, and they feel like this is something that they have to do. And truth be told, not every parent wanted to be a parent. I've said that before. And so for some ladies, they might be, saying, "Hey, I didn't sign up for this. I never really want to do this, but if the kid wants to watch YouTube videos all day long, I don't actually care because I never wanted to be a parent anyway. And if me going and buying them some expensive skincare products are going to make them shut up and I don't have to deal with them, then that's what they're going to do." I know that sounds harsh, but there are parents out there like that. Okay. They don't care about their kids. And so, in a little bit, I can see some of that in some of these kids that are disrupting the stores and some of these parents that are allowing that to happen, that to a certain extent, they don't care because it's hard to discipline a child. It's hard to tell a child no. It's hard to tell a child to act right in the store. So, if they can just get really good at tuning the kid out and letting them run amok, some people would rather do that because they're not dealing with their own kid. And so that's sad. I think that that is also bad parenting. You know what I mean? I think that is just as bad as some of the things that we shriek at that our old school parents did. I think that that is just as bad. Allowing your child to just kind of do them, run amok. They don't have to respect nobody. They don't have to listen. And then you just buy them whatever they want, all this expensive stuff. It creates a very skewed view of life. It makes them think that they can just walk around talking to people however they want. It makes them feel that they're superior. And it makes them think that, hey, I just want to buy a whole bunch of stuff. And then when they grow up and they have a job, they're going to be very sad to see that you can't just get everything you want. You're going to have to pay rent. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to pay bills. And those are often the individuals in life who turn out to be crooks. I call them, the people that came from maybe well to do families or something, but then, they're just used to everything being handed to them and not having to work for anything. So they rather actually steal it or do something shady or dishonest. This is the kid that grows up and does a Ponzi scheme. This is the kid that grows up and does some sort of weird multi-level marketing scheme or something like that because they're used to people just shoveling them money and giving them things easy and not working for it. So they don't even want to do the work. So to me, it really causes brain damage for our youth when we allow them to act this way. Sephora is a place where grown women should be able to go and, test out the makeup and have a conversation with the beauty professional, you know, about what she needs to talk about without having to worry about being told off by a little kid, being cut in line by a little kid. One lady even said that a little kid came and snatched something out of her hand. When she was about to pay for it, it was the last one or something. And the kid just snatched it out of her hand. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is literally insane to me. That is literally insane to me. So, for the ladies who are dealing with this, I can understand why they would want the ban. I don't know if I would 100% support a ban for kids in Sephora because there are kids in there who do know how to act and they know when they walk in that store, they ain't getting nothing but some shiny lip gloss. You know what I mean? we all have had that parent. I know my mom, like, look, we're here for the aesthetic. We're here just to like shop. I'm buying makeup. You are underage. You are not getting anything but some shiny bubblegum lip gloss up in here. So there are plenty of parents like that, like myself, who make it clear, hey, this is something you can aspire to. When you're of age, you'll have the skills. You've been in the store before, but as a 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, even 15, to me, it's not appropriate. My kids will not be wearing, makeup, full face of makeup at 15, 16. Once they start hitting 17, they can start incorporating some more things. But I'm just not in the business of having my kids look older and act. This is a very, mature girl, lady thing to do, like shopping in the Sephora and buying all the makeup and doing all of that. And why not just enjoy being a kid? I'm so picky. I don't even allow my kids to wear certain colors at their little ages. Both of them are under the age of 10. And, I don't let them wear black very often. I feel like black dresses, when you are over the age of 20, you're going to have so many black dresses because that's all our default, right? It's slimming, it's chic, it looks classy. So we all have a lot of black. And so there's an association with the color black in the mind that this is a grown up thing. And so that is why I don't put black dresses on my girls. If it's black and it's got like a ton of like Hello Kitty or Minnie Mouse or something like that, where you could tell it's clearly a piece for children, I'm fine with that. But as far as putting my little ones in a pencil dress that's black, I don't do it. And even when they become 14 and 15, I think it's even more imperative then not to do it, because guess what? They're gonna be the size of an adult at 16 years old. They're gonna be the size just about that they're gonna be, you know what I mean, height-wise? And so if they're then wearing black and they're walking down the street or, they're at the hall or something, who's to say that they're not an adult? So then they're getting adult attention, and then the moms are mad, the dads are mad. Well, you got your child in an all black pencil skirt dress that's hugging everything. She's got a body now, and now she looks like an adult. If you put her in softer colors, things that kind of fall off of the body instead of hug the body, that is more appropriate for a young girl. So that's just to give you an idea of how picky I am and how much thought. I'm an intentional parent. How much thought goes into what is on my children, the things that they're using, the products that they're using, and how they are portraying themselves. You know, kids need to be portrayed as kids, doing skincare for them, buying all this expensive skincare and makeup and stuff. It's just not really appropriate. Do I have spa days at home with my girls? Absolutely. But that's like a mommy daughter thing where, I just buy all the stuff. I'm like, hey, here's a little sheet mask for you. Here's like a little face scrub. And I literally like just do their forehead, put a little water on it, and whoopee, you just had spa day. Because their faces don't need all that. I will use just natural products or even make my own little something up for them that I know that's going to be gentle for their face, gentle for their skin. And it's something that is always done with me. So I think that as moms, if we are doing little skincare routines with our kids or doing a little, letting them just get a shiny lip gloss, we don't want them walking around with chapped lips. There's nothing wrong with wearing clear lip gloss with a little shine to it, if you're a little kid or a teenager. But it needs to stop there for me and mine. Whatever you choose to do, girl, that is on you. I'm just sharing what I'm doing with mine. Okay. um so again, I don't know if I would support a full-on ban of kids in Sephora because, we know how to go in there and act right. I don't allow my kids to disrespect the employees. They know that they're with me and they're just along for the ride. And there's plenty other moms out there like that. So I hope that Sephora does not start like an age requirement or anything like that. That would probably make me sad a little bit, but I would understand. And I would support it even though I didn't agree with it because unfortunately a couple dummies ruined it, for everybody. So, yeah. So let's hope that there isn't a ban, or maybe you want a ban. Maybe you're a Sephora employee and you like, look, I'm sick and tired of these kids. Y'all ain't teaching your kids nothing. They feeling like the teachers are feeling now, guys. That's how they're feeling. So we can understand. We can definitely understand. So again, let's keep our kids little kids and not grown. They have so much time. They've got the rest of their lives over the age of 20 to do skincare and do the sexy smoky eyes and do the tight clothes and wear all black. They've got time for that. Little kid, you're only a kid once. And that's not what we need to be pushing at that time. People forget parenting continues past the age of 20. Like that's, with my kids when they turn 20, like I plan on doing a whole full shopping day with them being like, "Okay, now you're 20, guess what? Let's get you a makeup look. Let's get you a legit skincare routine. Let's get you, one nice black evening dress that maybe, fits a little bit and all that." That's for like 21 and up. You know what I mean? Even I can understand 18. I know I might be a little, extra, conservative or something like that. Um, Even I can even understand certain things you allowing more at the age of 16 and 17 because, 16, 17, you're starting to come out a little bit. It's okay to do little things, at that age. You are driving, but again, you still a child at 16 and 17. Even at 18, even though the law says you're an adult, you still a child. Okay. So we don't have to rush it. How many of us we look back, I look back at old pictures of myself when I was wearing makeup at a younger age and it didn't look good because I didn't know how to put it on, right? Uh, I looked toe up from the floor up. I looked older then than I do now because I had on so much makeup and my skincare was bad because I didn't even have a skincare routine. You feel me? Like, if I had to just let it go, it would have been so much better. So anyway, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode on these Sephora kids. My goodness gracious, these Sephora kids. Yikes. I hope I don't encounter any more Sephora kids. Take note of this in your area. If you've noticed this, drop me a line, say something on this episode. That'd be an interesting conversation to have. If you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe. You can subscribe here on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, okay? And yeah, thank you so much for listening to Work It Lady, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Work your body